Welcome back to the Racing Post Football Postcast, joined by Ian Wilkerson in the studio, also James Milton and Amanda Nee Coleman on the line from our friends at Paddy Power. 2 games televised on Saturday, Everton versus Chelsea. Amanda, have you got a show for us there?
Yes, we do. We have Everton priced up at 5-1, Chelsea 8-13 and the draw at 11-4.
And how do you see this one going yourself?
Yeah, I think it's been a good few weeks now for Everton. I was on here a couple of weeks ago saying that Big Sam's 100% record and all was going to be broken by Liverpool, but he's had 3 wins and a draw so far, and he's certainly brought a new lease of life into this squad, and Rooney's thriving. Of course, he missed a pen on Monday, came straight back and scored another one, so that's exactly what they wanted to see, of course. Big Sam's done exactly what they wanted him to do as well. But Chelsea, of course, they suffered that shock defeat to West Ham a couple of weeks ago, but they are 8 wins and 10 from now. They have had 4 defeats in the league, so we know that they can be caught. But they just get up, shake it off, and they're just pure talent, really. I don't think Big Sam is going to be able for them now this weekend. Morata and Willian, it's going to be very hard to keep them away from the front door. And of course, they even scored last night, didn't they, in the Carabao Cup? Both have already got goals past them this season already. Scoring in the Premier League, of course, they beat them 2-0, and in that League Cup they knocked them out when it was 2-1. So I am going to go with Chelsea on a similar scoreline again. We've 2-0 priced up at 13-2 and 2-1 at 7-1.
Look, how do we weigh up Chelsea at the moment? They're a very tough side to get right at the moment.
Yeah, I think they're suffering from the fact that City are so good. I think it's offering a perspective which is perhaps a little bit unfair on the performances and the results that they're gaining. I mean, they lost to your boys. They lost at West Ham. You know, they missed a couple of really good chances towards the end when they could have definitely taken something from that game. And like Amanda says, they've suffered 1 defeat in their last 10 matches. I think they can go up to Goodison and do a job. I mean, Everton they've taken 13 points from their last 15 available, but they're 4 wins. Who have they beaten? They've beaten West Ham who were absolutely shocking up there, been that 4-0 before Moyes got his teeth into them and has sorted them out defensively. Huddersfield, Newcastle struggling, and Swansea who were bottom of the league. I mean, they were fortunate to get a draw in the Merseyside derby. Liverpool did dominate that game. And as I said, Chelsea's recent record's been decent. I do like the Toffees have looked sharp up front. Calvert-Lewin seems to be flourishing under the new manager. Rooney's got a bit more of a lease of life. We're not obviously going to see the same player that we did 10 years ago, but he's looking to, in the last few weeks, he sort of had that galvanising impact that Koeman or whoever decided to sign him at Everton anticipated him having at the start of the season. For all Chelsea's good performances, they have only kept 3 clean sheets on the road, so that makes Chelsea and both teams to score at 13-5 of interest to me. I quite like that one for this one.
Milks, how do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the 8-13 Chelsea looks short enough for me. I quite like Eden Hazard. Each way first goal scorer at 4-1 looks a decent bet there. Scored 4 times in his last 7 away games for Chelsea. And Everton's defence obviously better organised under Sam Allardyce, but not the most mobile. Hazard could trouble them. Echo what Wilco's saying about Everton's decent run coming up off the back of some very soft fixtures. I mean, that one tough game they had was obviously Liverpool away, where they're absolutely hopeless and somehow got a point from the game. They've taken 2 points from 8 games against teams above them this season. So that stat kind of points to why Chelsea are so short. But yeah, Eden Hazard to open the scoring for me.
Interesting stuff. Perhaps Everton a side to get against in the coming weeks. Right, we move on. 5:30 kick-off. Burnley versus Spurs, Wilco, and
Europa League ding-dong, isn't it?
6th versus 7th, incredibly.
Yeah, put my hands up. I was here I was telling all in sundry in August how Burnley were going to get relegated, and they've obviously exceeded expectations greatly. And going to Turf Moor is a difficult game for any team in the Premier League, and I think Spurs will find it no different. It will probably be a scrappy game. Spurs have got a lot to prove after the way they performed at the Etihad last week. I can't see them running away with it in the same manner that they went up to Huddersfield early in the season and played them off the park. They were 3-0 up at half time. I can't anticipate this being a similar game to that. Burnley will give as good as they get. No one's conceded fewer goals at home this season than Burnley. I mean, they were poor on the road last year, which was perhaps, pointed towards, and perhaps they might struggle again this year, but they've turned that round. Their away form, they've only conceded 3 goals at home all season. 8-15, too short about Spurs, as admirable as they are. Particularly, Heung-min Son is playing particularly well. I'd look to him perhaps in the anytime. He scored a late goal up there last year. I'd look at him perhaps in the goal scorer markets, but 8-11 under 2.5 goals. I think that could be the way to go.
Interesting. Amanda, as Wilco mentioned, despite Burnley's lofty league position, Spurs still an odds-on chance.
Yeah, certainly. They're 8-15, Burnley 6-1, and the draw is at a price of 3-1. Yeah, they've certainly been just an incredible success story this season, as just to reiterate what Ian said. It's just mad, though, that they finished 16th in the Premier League last year on 40 points, still on the right side of Christmas, and they've 32. So it's just really a credit to what they've been doing at home and away this season. Mentioned as well, they've scored 8 goals in their last 10 matches, but have won 6 of them. So we know that they're low scoring, but they certainly have a pretty busy calendar coming up now. Spurs, Man United, Liverpool and Man City all in the next 2 weeks. So I think they're going to take a tumble down the table. And I think this is where it's going to start. So they did share points at the start of the season, of course, at Wembley. And that was during the Wembley hoodoo stage for Spurs. And they got a very late winner there. But Spurs, even though they were thumped by City at the weekend, they still certainly showed touches of class and skill. And I just think they're going to be a bit too much for Burnley. So I am going to go with a Spurs win. But they don't concede many. So I'm going to say 1-0, which is 9-2, or possibly 2-0, which is at 11-2.
I like the sound of that. Milts, what's the secret then? They seem to be defying all these stats, Burnley, but they, as I say, they are sitting in 6th currently.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of the secret was certainly early on in the season was they were quite lucky. I mean, they had those amazing results at Chelsea, amazing win at Chelsea, and then drew at Tottenham as well, and they did ride their luck in those games. But they've just got a system, and the players obviously love what Sean Dyche is doing there. There's you look at so many of the teams in the Premier League and just see these ridiculous kind of individual defensive errors, and teams switching from 3 at the back to 4 at the back, and not quite knowing what they're doing at the back. And Sean Dyche just knows how to set up a defence. I mean, with that in mind, I think the 4-6 about one or both teams not to score, it looks a pretty solid odds-on bet. These are 2 excellent defences, 2 of the best defences in the league, and that bet has popped in 8 of Burnley's 9 home games this season. In those 9 games at Turf Moor, I don't know how much Burnley fans pay for their season tickets, but they don't get too many goals for their money. It's featured 10 goals in 9 games, but they've won 4 of those 1-0. So they certainly won't be complaining about a lack of entertainment. They're getting phenomenal results. For Tottenham, you couldn't ask for more contrasting assignments than away at Manchester City last time out, and now going to Turf Moor. But I do think Tottenham's defence can stand up, and so it just looks like a low scoring game, and one or both teams not to score for me.
Tottenham's defence will also be boosted by the return of Davinson Sanchez, who's been an excellent addition. He got suspended after getting sent off at Watford, so he's back now. That should at least give him a bit more solidity at the back, particularly in Alderweireld's absence, which I've talked about earlier. So, the Spurs should have a more solid outlook. There shouldn't be too many goals, but they should be a lot more sorted at the back than they were against City.
Right, 3 cases for it to be a bore fest, then that 5:30.